We will see you in the woods very soon. Bye!
Hello and welcome to today's episode of HCPTV. We're here at St Thomas More Catholic Academy in North Shields with Group 214, who you've just heard welcome you to the Trust and to this year's Easter pilgrimage. In our episode today, we are continuing, as well as looking forward to Easter, we're continuing our series of meeting people from our international groups. And in this episode, we're going to meet members of Group 651, who are the London-based wing of the HCPT West Indies group. We're also going to look forward to next Friday, the Feast of Our Lady of Lourdes on the 11th of February, which will be the second HCPT International Day of Prayer. So now we're going to meet Maxine. Maxine is the Deputy Group Leader of the London-based West Indies group, and she's going to tell us some of her stories and memories of pilgrimages past.
Hi, I'm Maxine Sullivan. I'm part of Group 651, and that's part of the West Indies group. There's the 650, which comes over from Jamaica, and the 651, that's part of the West Indies UK. I have been coming for so many years, probably in the range of on and off for 20 years, and I just keep coming back. After some of the times, the trips, I say, oh, this is so stressful, I'm not doing it again. And as soon as I touch back on the grounds in UK, you start planning for the next one and thinking about what fundraising bits you can do to raise money to take the kids. It's a wonderful experience. I am Deputy Group Leader assisting Lena, who's our group leader, and you have to get involved in so many things, and a lot of the background, the paperwork and the safeguarding and stuff, and that's all tedious, but it has to be done. But the most wonderful thing about going is looking after the children and seeing them change and their experience and how they just grow throughout. When our group gets there, we meet with the group that have come over from Jamaica. We move together as one big group. London's group is usually something like, with children and adults, it could be maybe 10 or 12 of us that come over. But with the group from Jamaica and the additional groups that come over, we could be 50, we could be 60. There are just a lot of them that come over, and we move as one. It's lovely. We go to quite a few excursions, and every year you learn a bit more to explain to the kids about the sheepfold. We'd go to Gavani and the different places and the story of Bernadette. Sometimes you get a chance to go to see the movie, but the story of Bernadette, and actually seeing the movie and then being able to show them the places along the paths where she lived, where she grew up, where her family experienced their life challenges. It's wonderful. It's all lovely to see it and experience it. The one year, there was a year that I was looking after this young girl, and she was a teenager, but she was very, very recluse, very quiet, and she would take it all in, taking everything. And we shared, because she was a teenager, at that time, we didn't have to have two in the room, but she was older enough, and we shared, and she would just talk about her life challenges and talk about her experiences each day and how she was soaking it in. We got to the whole trip, she was a different person. She went home. Her mum called me up a few days later. What did you do to my child? Oh my God, I was shaking in my boots. I thought, what have I done? She said, you have returned a different child to what went away. I remember the day we picked her up and she was traveling with us and her parents left her. She sat in the house while we waited for the coach and she started to cry. She bawled, in a matter of fact, not just cried. And she said, everyone's been pushing me to go and I didn't want to go. Nobody really asked me if I wanted to go, But by the end of it, she came home, she said to the mum, I want to go back as a helper, I want to get involved, and I've had the most wonderful experience. And that was just lovely for me, because I was so afraid when the mother said, what did you do to my child? And it was lovely, and I still keep going back, and you see the children come away with different experiences. One year we had a little boy that was mute, and hard of hearing, and we all had to learn sign language and Makaton. We had crash courses. We were on the train coming over, sleeper train. We'd get up in the morning, we'd say a sign to him, good morning, and he burst out laughing. I said, what? He took my pen and my notepad and he said, you said good afternoon or something like that. I went, oh, but you know what I meant. So we had a good time learning, and he would teach us. The child would be teaching us, but we had a wonderful time, and he was a much calmer child by the time he went back home. So it's been a wonderful experience, and my trips to Lourdes, and I still keep coming back, and thank you.
Thanks, Maxine, for sharing those stories with us. We're now going to go to your colleague Lena, who is the leader of the West Indies, the London-based West Indies group, and she's going to tell us what it means and what it takes to be a group leader and all the things involved in getting the group ready, getting to Lourdes and having an amazing time while we're there.
My first experience in Lourdes was 2000, the year 2000. I came with my church group, and I remember the guide on the coach that was taking us around. She said, when you're ready to go, the last day that you're going from Lourdes, if you present a yellow rose in front of the Crown Virgin, you will be back. And within 3 months, I was back with Group 651. I was the previous group leader. She was unable to continue being a group leader, and she asked me to take over the role as group leader. It was very challenging for me because I never been in any of the children's pilgrimage. And it was an eye-opener, because the hard work by preparing, selecting the children, and having to do the home visits to make sure that we get all the information for the children, about the children. And yes, it was a challenge. I took on that challenge, and it was the best thing I ever did. We are still going to Lourdes, but it would be a challenge because of the pandemic. But we always, Our Lady allow us to, she come up for trumps for us. And as I said, it's very much, it's such hard work, but when you get there, you have such fun. You forget about being tired. And the good thing about it is seeing the children's face when they start taking part. We do have a big trust mass on the Thursday, and it's really a nice event. And that's when the children blossom. That's when you see the beauty of the children. And yes, that's me, Group 651, and whoever is looking at this video, we are always looking for helpers and children to take with us.
So that's all we've got time for today. At the end of this latest edition of HCPTV, thank you for Maxine and Lena for your contributions, and for the young people and the staff here at St Thomas More's Catholic Academy up in North Shields. It's great to come and visit with you today and be welcomed so brilliantly by everybody, and I can't wait to see you all on pilgrimage in a few weeks' time. Next week, as I said at the beginning of the episode, we will be celebrating our second HCPT Day of International Prayer. There will be things live from Lourdes, there will be some pre-recorded things, and an international version of the Rosary, prayed in different languages from our supporters all around the world. So please keep an eye on our social media platforms, on Facebook, on everything else, and you will see what's going on. There will be morning prayer, mass, afternoon prayer, torchlight procession, and a night prayer as well, just to mention a few things. So from me up here in North Shields to everybody in HCPT all around the world, really look forward to seeing those of you who are going to travel with us to Lourdes at Easter, and everyone else who isn't able to travel. You are in our thoughts and our prayers most especially, and you will be remembered in Lourdes very soon. God bless, see you soon.